What's good, gamers? Yeah, I haven't talked in a while on the stream, but here I am, I guess. Now you can finally hear my voice while streaming. Also, here's my car. Very nice, trust me. I have other cars to show right now, but I felt like I felt like using this car, so. So, what's been going on? So what's been going on, you might say? Well, nothing much, but, you know, just playing Need for Speed Heat and stuff. And, also, I do not have PS Plus anymore, so that means no more online. So I'll just have to either, you know, basically, that means that I have no online, like, function. Like in any other games. Let's just say, for example, I want to play like Need for Speed Heat online. Well, I can't, which is pretty obvious. Also, I can't play with people anymore on a stream. So basically, I can't play multiplayer with other people. That basically means no online play as well. So, I have to resort to, well, story mode. And, well, story mode isn't that much. I've already completed a lot of it, as you can tell right here. Literally, most of the stuff I have on this map is just racing events that I've already done, except for the occasional off-road or time trials. Well, time trials aren't really, how can I say this? Time trials aren't really like events to me. They're just time trials, and it is an event. But, you know what I mean. Basically, I haven't been doing much in like this game for a while, and I also haven't streamed in a while. Last time I actually streamed was I think around 2 months ago, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, that explains why I haven't talked in a while. One of the main I mean not talk in a while, but basically one of the main reasons why I have like not talked in streams is because, first of all, it gets a little loud, and you might hear background noise, which everyone hates to hear background noise. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. Second thing is, I didn't really feel like putting my microphone on because I was nervous to talk to people, but now here I am. You can hear my voice, so those are like two reasons why I didn't really play with a mic on. Also, third, you wouldn't really like to hear me concentrating while playing a race. You can also hear me swear. I'm pretty sure you can swear on YouTube. I mean, they do it on Twitch, why not on YouTube? But oh well. Also, just concentration, which I forgot to mention until now. Because, you know, sometimes I focus a lot on my games. I mean, to the point where you could just hear me, well, basically there will be no one to talk to, so... or you can't hear me, guys. So yeah, basically that's what I do on the, that's why I don't really talk on my streams that much. So it's been the first time in a while that I have done like something like this, or just like talking in streams. You know, it's kind of hard playing like a game. Well, not really, but like, what I'm saying is that like it's a bit weird to talk to people and like, you know, like while streaming and also playing a game at the same time while you're trying to focus. I mean, there are some people who do that, yeah, that's the point of streaming. But like, sometimes I don't do it because I wouldn't feel comfortable, there would be background noise, or you wouldn't hear me talk at all. So, again, those are the three main reasons why I don't talk while streaming. But anyway, we could get down to what's it called? Events, if you want. Or actually, so I'm just gonna do certain events. Not with this car though. The car I'm driving right now is a Nissan 350Z. As you can tell, I customized it. Except I mostly customized everything except for the front bumper and like. I basically customized everything here except for the mirror the mirrors on the sides, um, the rear tail lights, and the headlights. That's basically all I didn't modify, and also the front bumper as well. I think I have modified the hood, but I'm not too sure. A list of things that I have modified are the bumper, the how can I say, the splitter? I'm not too sure. Not really a splitter, to be honest. Oh well. I have also modified the exhaust, the wheels, the rims. I've like modified the side skirts. I've added front canards and a splitter here, and actually not a splitter at the back. It's called the diffuser. I'm stupid. Anyway, I have a diffuser at the back. New rear bumper. Looks somewhat similar, but it has this thing is like you see the little thing right there, that it's changed a little. Other things I have included are tires and rims, the side skirts. I have also done a front decal at the front, and a decal at the back. It's how can I say this? It's basically like this little thing that I made myself. Not sure what to call it, but it's basically this thing. Now it's just like a little thing I created. I don't know. It's supposed to mean, well, it's not really meant to mean anything, but like basically it's just this logo I put on for fun. And I'm not really sure what to call it, so maybe in the comments you could suggest what I should name this thing. So anyway, now on to events, because that's great, I guess. Oh yeah, I forgot wheel camber as well. That's why the wheels look a bit wonky on the back. So one of the things I don't mainly like about the car is because it's steering. Now the steering is fine at low speeds, but once you get at higher speeds, there's just a huge amount of understeer, and it makes it feel like a grip car of some sort. To be honest, I'm not sure if I should really call this a grip car, because it does drift if you wobble around enough. But basically, it's kind of like a grip car, but worse. So basically, it won't turn that much. And this is possibly due to the engine that I have, which right now I have a V6 with over 1,000 horsepower. Well, not over 1,000, but barely over 1,000. And I have it's pretty cool in my opinion. I could work on that 0 to 60 time, or 0 to 100. I'm not sure if there's any Americans watching right now, but it's 0 to 60 for Americans, and for the rest of the world, 0 to 100. And yeah, that's basically it. I also have a good amount of torque. There's not ultimate plus parts. There's ultimate parts with the dual turbocharger. I'd rather use the dual turbocharger instead of just the turbo. Sure, it may up the horsepower a little bit, but I'm losing like 4 points of acceleration. Now, normally my acceleration would be 8.8, but if I fitted a supercharger, my ranking would go down by 3 points. The acceleration would go down by 0.4. But hey, I gain like 0.1 like boost in power, which I'm not sure how that's going to improve, since it also lowers the torque and the 0 to 100 time, but it adds more horsepower apparently, which is apparently better, but oh well. I can also show you some other cars I have. Just hold on, let me go to a nearby garage. I have to show you some of the cars I've actually collected, since I don't really play this game online, and well, not anymore at least, but basically I've collected cars. There's not many, there's only like 9 or 8. See the understeer on that car? Anyway, basically I have like 8 or 9 cars, and like there's not many of them, like I just said. So
So when are you gonna get your own place?
Don't listen to him.
As you see, I have a Mazda RX-7. I use this primarily as a drift car. I have this Honda S2000. Nissan. I have a. How can I say this? R33. I think it's an R33. Okay. I have this Nissan Skyline R33. It's V-Spec, and it's also a GTR. This Mitsubishi Evo. I also have a Skyline. Also known. I have a Skyline GTR, also known better as R34. I have this Beetle. I also have this Skyline 2000 GTR. It's not an R32 as you would think. Instead, it actually doesn't really qualify as an R32. There is R35, which is the new Nissan GTR. That's the one we currently have, but this wouldn't classify as an R32. So, and also a little nickname that people came up with on this car is called Hayasuka, I think. I forgot what the meaning of it was, but I know it was meant to be like boxy something. Anyway, here's that car. Nothing really much. Just sounds good in my opinion because it has that flat 6. I could put on like I could put like an i6, which in my opinion sounds a little better. But flat 6 doesn't sound that good on bone stock, but oh well. There's the V6, this V8, another V6, two V6s, and this is the V6. One of the main reasons why I have a flat 6 excuse me. One of the main reasons why I have a flat 6 over a V8 is because well, it has like just the potential horsepower is like better than well, the V8. Sure, the V8 could sound a little better. Sounds just a tiny bit better. But like in terms of like sound, it doesn't really matter. In my opinion, this sounds as good as a V8. And you may be able to judge me, but that's just my opinion. So anyways, in terms of like, well, stuff, this has faster lap times than a V8. I have tried it myself totally. And yeah, there's not really much to it. So yeah. Now other cars I have to show you is this Honda 2000 or Honda S2000. Also, one of the reasons why it's named Honda S2000 is not because of the year it came out, because the year that this car came out was 1999 when it first debuted in Japan, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, then yeah, it's not really called an S2000. It's not really called an S2000. Instead, they would name it a S99 or S1999, but that wouldn't make sense, and that wouldn't, you know, I guess in my opinion, it just wouldn't make sense. Also, I have done the decal all by myself. Yes, this is not a community-made wrap. It is actually a wrap of my own. Trust me, it looks really cool. Now you may ask about the rear bumper, and you may have asked, hey, you know this thing on like the rear, right? Why isn't it all the way? Well, to be honest, I don't know. Maybe I just did it myself. Maybe I thought it would look better, and mostly I just think it looks better like that. But I might be wrong. So, to those people who think I might be wrong, then you can go ahead and say that I'm wrong. Also, if you want to know the origin of that little thing I had on the 350Z, this is originally where I got that decal from. I made the decal myself on this Honda S2000, and that's basically the origin of where it came from. Trust me, it looks really cool. Just have to see the little icon right there. That's the same icon I put. Well, actually, not the S2000. I'm stupid. Actually, let me show you. I actually had this on this Mitsubishi. Sorry if the wrap's a little weird, but I made this wrap myself as well, so correct me if it looks bad. One of the main reasons why it looks weird is because it's, how can I say this? I'm not sure if many of you know, but there's this one musician called Bill Wirtz, and he makes these, cool songs and stuff. He also does, like, little videos, but, as of recently, he hasn't made a video in 2 months. And as I may say, this is, how can I say this? This is Bill Wirtz inspired, so not much to it, to be honest, except that it all looks funky. It's inspired by Bill Wirtz because, well, you know, it's neon. How can I say? It's like this neon type color. There's just neon colors, like symbols and stuff that stands out. There's also just random, like, how can I say this, imperfections that makes him makes him look unique in a way. Now, many of you may ask where that symbol on the 350Z comes from, and it comes from here. That's just where I originally made this symbol. I also made it on a few other cars. One of the cars I have made it on, my first one was this car, and then afterwards I believe I put it on this car. Yeah, I put it at the back instead of the front. Not too sure why, maybe because I thought it would look better. Also, this Volkswagen Beetle, I know, doesn't say I have a Volkswagen Beetle. Sure, it is the second most powerful car in this game, but does it really matter? Also, the oversteer is horrendous. Like, you can basically, like, I know it is a good car, and it does have good lap times because of its lightweight, but the one main thing for making it number one instead of like number 2 or 3 is because of the oversteer. Sure, you could learn to get over the oversteer, but still, it is oversteer. And what I mean by oversteer is that there's a tremendous amount of oversteer. Not sure why, but that's just how the game devs made it on that update, or just how it is. Therefore, it is kinda useless to use this car because of oversteer. Not because I don't want to drive it, it's because of oversteer. And sure, some of you may say, but you haven't learned this car yet. I mean, if I were to learn it, you would have to get rid of that horrendous oversteer. It's just unplayable, basically. But it's still a good car otherwise. Other cars I have to show you is, we're not gonna explain this one. I have this Nissan Skyline. Some people would call this an R34, but it's still a Skyline. Anyway, this is a Skyline, and I can already hear the people in the back screaming for this car. And basically, in my opinion, it's a pretty cool car. Some of you may complain about why I have it as a V8 instead of an i6, and not because the engine is bad or anything, but you know, it's just performance issues, I guess. Sure, I can get better performance out of the inlines. Sure, I can get better performance out of the inline 6, but you kind of lose horsepower, or just potential horsepower. I mean, you are losing 36, like, potential horsepower, basically. And, like, it's also, like, just, I don't know, there's something about it. But, to all those people in the back who still say that the inline 6 is good, well, I mean, it is, but in this game, I just rather personally have a V8 over an i6 because, I don't know, it's just better. I guess. Also, sure, this has one additional more horsepower. But what is that going to do? It has more overall horsepower than just like this. If you really want, I'll just put it on this to make you guys happy, because some of you like, you know. But in the end, it's not really going to matter, except for sound wise, because some people just like to milk the entire shit out of like the sound because they like it. Yes, I like it too, but come on, you can't deny the sound of a V8 over this. Okay, never mind, I may have regret what I said, but still, you could have a turbocharger for the sound. Obviously, it's gonna sound good. Not sure why I made the same. But one of the reasons why I keep it as a V8 instead of like this inline 6 is because horsepower. That's one of the main reasons. And this barely crosses just, if I had the turbocharger on, it just barely crosses 1,000 horsepower, which is not good. I have multiple cars that are like 1,000 horsepower, basically, except for the Beetle. Or like near, like, I basically have like multiple cars that are near or like, that are near or just barely like over the 1,000 horsepower mark. So that's one of the reasons why I don't keep the inline 6. Also, a dual turbocharger would be better, not because of sound wise, but it performs better. I mean, sure, you get the spinny boy thing. Yes, it sounds good, but performance wise, I'd rather go for this, because first of all, you gain more torque. You also get a slightly faster 0 to 100, and it reduces horsepower by a little. Just only like 20 like ponies. It's not gonna matter at the end of the day. And also, these are basically just, you know, I'm on ultimate parts. For some reason, I am too scared to have ultimate plus parts because I think I'm gonna lose all my money. Maybe that's just me. But in the end, this is sound wise much better than a V8. But I'm still going to sell it anyway. I'm just gonna buy the V8 again. I mean, look at the potential horsepower. What more could a man ask for? Also, in my opinion, it just sounds just a tiny bit better. Or actually, now I'm disgraced from the Nissan JDM boys. Oh well. But basically, it's just, I don't know. It's just, better, I guess. So, sorry to piss you off, but that's just how it is in this game. Now on to, where is it? The one card that I have that I don't use that often because I'm bored. But, when I do use this car, I use it for, drift events. Now, this car is a Mazda RX-7. You also might be mad because it doesn't have a rotary engine in it. Now, some of you might be very mad that I don't have a rotary engine. It's because of the total horsepower. 981 horsepower is a lot, but what more are you gonna get out of that when you're losing 29 like horsepower? Sure, sound wise it sounds much better, but I just put a VA in there anyway. Now, one of the things that I'm going to show you is this one car that is basically super overpowered that mostly everyone uses. It's called the Porsche 911. I also call this the RSR because it's the RSR. Most people in Need for Speed Heat refer this as the RSR and not much, unless you're Unless you're like naming it officially, then it would be the Porsche 911 Carrera RSR 2.8, and it's from 73. The 2.8 means the amount of displacement, which not really, that's just in the car. So we're actually, this is the 2.8 flat 6 that well, you know. Also, these engines are almost essentially the same instead of like horsepower wise. Also, this is just a stock engine. That's the tuned engine I have. Now you may ask, why don't I have the flat 6 instead of, well, this? Performance. Performance, that's literally it. When you normally, if you don't really have a V6 in this car, then you're kind of screwed, because the stock flat 6 is it's not that great. Now, if we were going to have a flat 6, the one that has 936 horsepower, then yeah, I guess you could have that, but not because it's like bad or anything. Sure, it's an increase in horsepower, but the V6 in this game honestly is better. It performs better, and yeah, it just performs better. Also, you may ask, why don't I have the power output? Ultimate Plus parts. So yeah, I also have this as my main well, car. That's why I have this repair kit and this radar disruptor. I often use this car at nighttime, but you know, not really much. Also, here's the car that I'll finally get explaining to. This car. This is the Nissan Skyline GTR V-Spec from the 90s, also known as the R33. Now you may be wondering, why do I have this car? Well, it's a drift car. Simply put, it is a drift car. Now, one reason I have this is because as a joke, and also as, like, not a joke. Normally I don't really use this car for drifting, because I don't know, the RX-7 handles better. It's just proven that the RX-7 is better as a drift car than this car. Sure, this could be a drift car, yes, but there's not really a point. But I did it anyway because I'm weird. I could have it to, well, track suspension and just have, as in general, just a better car. But, you know, not really going to help, because it's already such a good car. So sure, you might say, why not make it better? Well, it already is. That's how good this car is. Also, that power output level, it's good, but 8.3 isn't really gonna simply put it as is. Now, if you do want me to drive this car, I will, but then it's not a drift car. One of the streams I had was labeled Kobayashi Drift Car, and that's the reason I have it as this. It's a Kobayashi Drift Car. And also, the decal at the top says Drift Club, so why not make it a drift car? That would make more sense, right? So, there's not really a point having, like, a wrap that says Drift Club, and it's a race car. Also, this car accelerates, well, at least from, like, accelerates pretty well. Accelerates pretty well at a complete stop. Compared to an RSR, this is basically just an Evo but not really. It has a really good launch time. Problem is top speed. That's the only problem. When it gets onto 5th gear, well, you know. Also, in this game, this car is all-wheel drive. I'm pretty sure that in real life, that the car like this would actually be rear-wheel drive. Unless I'm wrong, then you can correct me in the comments. Or I'll just search up the fact myself. But one of the reasons why I don't have this as a race car is poor performance. By the time you get to, well, this point, like right here, you would have been already at 330 mile, not 300, you would have already been at 330 kilometers per hour. And by that point, the RSR would have been 345 or something, with boost, turbo, or actually just nitrous. Like, it would have already been at 345 with, well, nitrous. The same could go for, well, the R33, but, as I said, I'm keeping this as a drift car. Sure, this could be the next big thing, and yes, it is a good race car, but in top speed, it pales in comparison to the RSR. So no, this isn't an RSR killer. Most of the cars in this game, when modified to their maximum rating, aren't really RSR killers. I mean, you could say the same for like any car, except for like there are like 3 cars that rival this car. One is the Evo, which I just showed like not a few minutes ago, but I showed it like around 30 minutes ago. That could be an RSR killer, but it is not. Another competitor could be the McLaren F1, a car that I formerly owned, but I sold it because I didn't use it anymore. I didn't really find much use of it. And the third car is the Beetle, although her horrendous oversteer tends to make this car, well, still not an RSR killer. Sure, you could favor in the fact that you can get good at driving those cars, and then maybe it could be an RSR killer. Although, well, you might be right. That's one thing. But the thing is, the RSR, basically, you can basically drive it, and it's like really overpowered. That's the only thing about it. It's super overpowered. I did not mean to crash into that car. So basically, it's just a really overpowered car. That's why mostly no cars will ever try to beat the thing, or just the RSR in general. Anyway, that's my hot take, and I'll just put that back to showcase, or just drift tires. So actually, oh, never mind. See, now if this were a drift car, it would only have like just a tiny bit of reduction in the speed, because, well, there isn't really much going to be added. I mean, you could just like do a track suspension. I mean, you could literally have stock suspension, and you can like, well, it's stock suspension. It's just going to like give you like a better top speed, also give you a better 0 to 100 time, and yeah. But I like to keep this as a drift car because, I don't know, it's just good, I guess. So I prefer this car as a drift car because it handles well on the corners, and it might not get as much, well, how can I say this? It might not get as much drift points, but still a good car. I mean, I could or not make this Volkswagen Beetle a drift car. I mean, the amount of oversteer is going to help it, I guess. Well, not really. But the thing is, if you're gonna use a Beetle as a drift car, do not. The oversteer completely ruins the fact that it could be a drift car. So you have to put drag tires on, but then there's not enough steering. So you have to amp up the steering, but then the oversteering problem gets in the way again. So In reality, there's not really a fix for this. It's just how it is. I mean, I can also make this car a drift car, but doesn't rack up that many points. You could add drag tires, but then it gets too slippery. I could also make this a drift car. Many people have this as a drift car because it has a low center of gravity, and also it's just good. I mean, this car that I have, I don't know, I just have it as a drift car. This car, I could make a drift car, but I don't really see anyone using this as a drift car, in my opinion. If you have, well, congrats, I guess. I could make this a drift car as well, but nobody tends to make this a drift car, and yeah. I could also do the same with the Mitsubishi. Sometimes you can see this as a drift car. And this Ford Mustang, I don't really do much to it. I'm not too sure why the performance rating is so high though. I never really bought anything for it. Or did I? So, actually, let me explain something. I may have bought a better V8 for this car, which is why it sounds so weird. Like, performance-wise. Also, this has a huge amount of understeer when it's in high speed. Otherwise, it's just fine. Actually, I could sell that engine for money, since I don't really find the point of keeping this. So, I'll just sell it. There. Free money. I could have just sold it a long time ago, but I didn't. I could also just get rid of these, because I don't really find the point of using these. Also, basically, that's free tires that I can use whenever I want to. If you didn't know, this has a 4-speed gearbox. You could add a 5-speed, but I'd rather not. This also has a race differential and other things. I could add a 5-speed, but I don't really feel like it. The original Mustang, I think, had a 5-speed, and for like an automatic, it had a 4-speed, but I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, now you can hear that grumbly V8 that everyone loves. First of all, I need to slow the car down for a second. There's the big rumbly V8. This is basically the ultimate burnout machine. I'm pretty sure everyone can agree on that. Also, this car only has 4 gears. Because I wanted to have 4 gears on this car. So it literally cannot go any faster than 4 gears. Also, I removed the turbo entirely. Well, not a turbo, but I have no nitrous. If I did put, let's just say for example, a 15 pounds of this, then there would be no point of having this whatsoever, because, well, this car doesn't really need turbo or just nitrous. It doesn't really need nitrous because, well, it's already gone at the maximum speed it can provide for this car. If I do, then it's just gonna go just a little bit over, and there's not really a point. Here, let me show you. See, I'm going 300 kilometers an hour in a Mustang with 4 gears on it. I bet all of you saw that. I was just barely crossing 300. You also might think, is this car, well, what is it called? Does this car well, has changed. Has this car changed at all? Well, not really. It's just this. Also, I cannot change anything due to the clutch. I can't really change because that's the lowest that you could really go. This I could change to here, but I don't want to make the rating higher. I just want to keep it as is, and a race differential that was already added. So in general, you're just going to get like a car like this, and it doesn't really provide that much. So also, this is extremely slow compared to my RSR. The one thing about being in third gear while doing a burnout is that the burnout lasts for so long. Like it lasts for like really long. So basically, if you want to do a running burnout, yeah, so really there's nothing much about the Mustang except that I changed the headlights, and yeah, that's basically it. I changed the headlights and that's all.
I was thinking of going for a drive later, so shout now if you want something.
Now there's not really much I can do with this car since, you know, it is what it is. Also, I forgot that I had the height on like that. I haven't changed anything here, except for I tried my best to completely keep it as bone stock as possible. Except for the engine. Except for the engine. I'm just gonna keep these as bone stock anyway. All I basically have, like, not changed at all. Nothing has changed except for the engine. I could technically just get, well, I could get a new engine, but I mean, look at the cost. You think I'm that crazy enough to spend 3 million of my good-handed dollars just, you know, to have this? This one right here is a 254 horsepower, 4.7 liter V8. Now, this is basically the same thing, but it was tuned well already, so it wasn't really a point of having this car. Anyway, I just wanted to show some events now. I'm just gonna do some in my 350Z because I don't know, I look cool while doing it. Now, I might add a spoiler to this, but I'm not too sure since I want to have like a ducktail type thing, like the Porsche I own. It has that, but it doesn't look that good. I tried the Rocket Bunny one, and personally I don't really like it because it just makes the car look a little longer, in my opinion. Now, if I could change the rear bumper, but I already have, so. Also, nothing much changes with the normal bumper compared to, well, this. Sure, I could use this to make the bumper look a little more beefy and also match up with this, but, you know, I just rather keep it like how it is because I like it. Also, I could remove the spoiler and then it just looks weird. Not sure why, but I guess we're all used to just having the little spoiler at the back. The one thing I would criticize on this car is the rear bumper, especially the taillights. These taillights look really horrible. I'm not sure why, but they reek of like 2000s design. Like, now the 2000s design wasn't that horrible. To be honest, I would consider it like great, but there were some bad designs here and there, and personally I think that the taillights on this is a prime example of how bad some designing was. I mean, the car in retrospective is completely fine. I mean, I like it, but like those taillights, man, I just have to get rid of those. Maybe I could just use like the taillights on the 370Z. Sure, I may look weird, but sure, I might look weird by doing that. And also, I can't really change the taillights because, you know, I can only really tint them, and that's all. But I don't want to tint them, so. Anyway, enough explaining. I might as well, just in all seriousness, buy a new car. I might as well, well, sell the Beetle because I don't really use it for much. And also, it's kind of useless to me, but I wanted to keep it there just in case if I ever get online again. Also, new car. Let's go get a new car. So, since the loading screen takes a while to, well, what is it called? Load. I'll just leave it as is. Right now you're just seeing, some faces bouncing up and down and a camera icon. Now that that's done, I can show you, this. Might take a while. Also, you might see a black bar. It'll disappear in a minute. Okay, now it should be gone, so. Now, let's buy a car. Now, I have wanted to buy myself a new car for a while, but the thing is, I want to get like a car that is fast enough to yeah, sorry for the microphone. I have tried to get a car that is fast enough, but it's like a tuner car, like a JDM car of some sort. Now, a Miata could do the job, but I had a Miata before, and there's not really much you could do with it. It is cool, but I don't know. Something about the engine. It's like bad, I guess. Also, the old Miata, in terms of tunability, is much better than this Miata. Sure, this might have more stock horsepower, but it really matters in the engine, like, department, so. I could get myself a Civic Type R, but I already had one, so. I had one before, and I do not want to buy it again. Now, one of Black Panther's videos has a 180SX car having over like 1,400 horsepower, and I'm not too sure how that would work, but it basically works the same as a 350Z except without the horsepower in terms of turnability. I have not bought myself, or actually I have, my bad. Now I have not bought myself a car like this, and also this would be considered a grippy boy. Now other cars I have not tried. I have tried this. I have tried this. Basically, I've also bought this. I've bought this as well, and this. And I have not bought this car before, not because I didn't want to, but I just don't like BMWs that much. Oh well. I have not bought an Audi S5 Sportback. I have one of these, or had. I have this Dodge Challenger. It's not mine, obviously. I have bought this, the Kobayashi drift car. I have this. I do not have this or this, although this reminds me of Underground 2 for some reason. I'm not too sure why. I have had this car before, but it was just like a beginner car, and now we're entering the supercar territory, or as I may call it, basically Lamborghini land, as I may say, because well, not Lamborghini land, but basically just exotic land, if I could say that. Basically, it's just exotic cars. So just like McLarens, Audis, Porsches, and like most importantly, Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Because mostly anything after the 180, anything after like 190 is basically just Ferraris and like Lamborghinis. There are some small exceptions though, such as this Porsche and this Ford right here. Those are the only exceptions. Oh, and I forgot to mention this Porsche, this McLaren, and this Koenigsegg Regera. Also, do not question why I have these. I have this one, which I haven't bought, but I heard it's a good car. I haven't bought this Vulcan. I have not bought this Pagani. Apparently it is a good car, but oh well. I also have this car. Well, not really, but actually I don't have this car. So now these are the DLC cars. This one is an Aston Martin, and this one is a McLaren F1. I had the McLaren F1 and the Aston Martin DB11 Volante, but now I don't, because I didn't find much interest in them and the challenges. There are also exclusive cars such as this car, this 370Z, this M4 GTS, this Cayman GT4. There's also a GTR Nismo 17, which looks epic. This McLaren 600 LT, this Huracan Performance Spider 18, this 488 Pista 19, and this FXXK Evo. Now I haven't gotten these cars yet because I haven't collected all the street arts. I have not gotten all the 3 stars on all drift zones. I have not gotten every flamingo. I have not collected all. I have not destroyed every billboard, and I haven't like gotten 3 stars on all speed traps. There's also I haven't jumped far enough on all jumps. There's also just this on all activities, which is a pain in the ass to do, in my opinion. I mean, what is really the point of getting this car? Because sure, it has a lot of horsepower, but in the end, it's just kind of bad in my opinion. In my opinion, supercars in this game aren't really that good. Because, well, I don't know, they just aren't that good. Now, I could buy myself this car, which basically is at the maximum horsepower. It basically has maximum everything, except for the acceleration. And yeah, that's really it. The only things I can't really do to improve these is, well, add better parts, but there's not really much to do when they have good parts. The only thing is the handling. The handling completely sucks. That's the only thing I can really complain about. Now, I could get this Testarossa coupe, although it costs I could get this Testarossa coupe, but I don't really want one. So, and also these things are super expensive. Now, I could buy one and maybe waste like a ton of my money, but I don't really find a point in that. But I'm going to buy it anyway. And this sounds epic. This has a flat 12 in it. Not sure why this only has one window. This has a flat 12 and it sounds epic. Already has a good amount of horsepower from the start. There's this, and this. But they're all super expensive. I mean, sure, they have better horsepower numbers, but I mean, this is already set, so I'm just going to, well, add ultimate parts. Trust me, it'll get better from here. So the thing that we had was what is it? The current rating is 165 on this car without any part changes. Now, as I change it to ultimate parts, what is it called? 165 becomes 208 from the crankshaft. The ECU makes it go up from 208 to 241. The cooling goes up, makes it jump up to 241 to 273. The exhaust also makes it go up to 309. And the nitrous doesn't really do anything. So one thing we can do with this though is suspension. Track suspension makes it bump up a little. Brakes don't really do much. It really only matters in like the tires, I guess. Now I could say that I could go for this, but there's not really a point. So, and sure, it may improve the rating, both the rating and, well, the thing, but you know, I'd rather keep track tires for simplicity. I could also add a better clutch and a better differential to have a rating of 331, and this car doesn't really have that much power. It is a fast car, but not fast enough in my opinion. Now it does sound nice, trust me. Trust me, it does sound nice, but anyway, I'm going to switch it from, oh yeah, I completely forgot about the turbo. Whoops. Now, if we add a turbocharger, sure, it ups the horsepower a bit, but to be honest, it's not going to improve much, except for the horsepower dropping dramatically. Well, not dramatically, it only goes down by like around 40 or something. Around 40 to 50, like it basically drops from that. So, also this has better. Oh, would you look at that? Doesn't have better torque. Weird. But anyway, it has a better 0 to 60 time, and also improves the rating a bit more. So we're just going to add that, and let's see what I could change with the gearbox. Now I could add a 6-speed, which does improve the rating a bit. So I'll just do that. And yeah, this is basically the best that this car can get on a flat 12. Just now, you may not see a point of having a car like this, since I don't really find the point of it. Now, you might say, why not make this a drift car? Well, no. Why would you want to make this a drift car?
Hey, look at your new baby.
Yeah, thanks, Lucas. Anyway, there's not really much you could do in terms of modifications. All you could really do is just, well, change. There's really nothing you could do on this car, huh? There really isn't that much to do on the car, to be honest. All you can really change is the engine. This car is so limited in like tunability and like, or just customizability. It's just kind of sad, to be honest. This is like really sad, because basically most of the things you see on here, you can't even customize it. Sure, you can add cool wraps and stuff, but there's not really a point. And also, this is cool, I guess. Reminds me of the 80s. This is just a white wrap, nothing special. There's also this, it just adds a white stripe. Most of these car designs are really and I don't mean to be rude, but somewhat simplistic. Because there's not really much you could do on this. But you know what they say, limitations come with limitations often spark creativity, and to be honest, this is not really a prime example of it, since really the only things you can like add to this are just better looking wheels and stance. That's really all you could do. And also, you could do decals on the windows. So, there's not really much to do on this car, to be honest. You can only really do decals, change the wheels, and yeah. And also the engine, I guess. So, as this car is basically useless, if I may say. Now, I could give it a better bang for my buck if I tried buying one of these. There's not really a point of buying a V8. There's not really a point, so. Also, in my opinion, this sounds sick. If I were to add a turbocharger, it would probably sound better. In my opinion, this sounds a little better. So, anyway, I kinda have a car that I don't really need. So, I'll just sell all of the parts. And also, yes, that was a waste of my money. Trust me. But, now that that's done, I'll actually get something better. I'll try to buy a car. A JDM car. I would stream on my Switch, but unfortunately I do not have a PC connected to a thing. So the only thing I could really do is stream on my PS4. Also, after this stream, I might do a Fortnite stream because you haven't seen me play Fortnite in a while, trust me. You haven't seen me streaming Fortnite in a while, so I'll do that once this is done. Sure, I could buy this. There's not really a point of buying it. And also, this car is basically, how can I say this? The worst car in the game. It basically, like, when not tuned, this basically has the worst stats in the game. Because, well, it basically has no power, no high speed, and no acceleration. The only thing it can really go for is just nitrous, and that's really it. It basically has no power, but I'm going to buy it anyway. If you're wondering why, I could tune it. This somehow has 5 gears. Anyway, I'm going to customize the ride. I'm going to add this tank because I'm weird. I'm gonna test it on a straight. But this is basically your average grandpa car, if I could really say that. Now that that's done, I'll just there you go. Just a little bit of nitrous can help. It's really hard to get this thing up and running to its maximum speed. Now, this isn't the most perfect straight, but it counts, I guess. So I'll just use the nitrous. As you now see, this car has gone up to 200 kilometers per hour. I'm just gonna check. something. The maximum speed on this car is supposed to be 174. We went 30 kilometers over that. So basically, in a sense, we've overclocked the engine. This might be an excellent rally car because of how short it is. But you need all-wheel drive, and I don't think this is exactly an all-wheel drive car. Sure, with some stuff I could make it an all-wheel drive car, but I don't think you can really make this an all-wheel. I don't think you can really make this an all-wheel drive car if it's rear-wheel drive, unless you do some modding in this game and make it all-wheel drive. Or maybe I'm just wrong and I could just add some tire mods or whatever. Or I could just make some adjustments and have tires, make it all-wheel drive. Since basically all-wheel drive in like rally cars is basically the best way to, well, you know, do rallying, I guess. Really, this car can only go up to 214 kilometers per hour with nitrous. So that maximum speed means nothing to me, I guess. Also, I will now modify the engine, so y'all can stop crying now. It will now finally add a better engine. I could add a Wankel, which I'm not gonna do. I'm going to go overload and add a V8. Because why the fuck not? And it basically costs nothing in my case. Sure, I might have better torque with this one, but I only get like just a tiny bit, so I guess I'll just go with a V6. Now that that's done with, I can swap over to this. Remove this. Just have that. Now that that's done, go to my V6. Add these. Add ultimate parts. I'm not gonna add the turbo yet because I'm not sure if this will handle well. I'm not sure if I should have this as a rally car or like a drag car, because it could be a really good car for like a drag race. Not too sure though. Anyway, I'm gonna see what happens when I get. Oh my god, I'm adding drag tires to this. An ultimate and elite plus for this. Better differential. And now that that's done with, I can fuck around with the gearboxes. I could make this a 7-speed, but since I already have a turbo, it's going to not really matter. In the end, it doesn't really matter. I could have a 6-speed, which does vastly improve like what it is, but to be honest, this is just a Porsche RSR, but a little bit worse. The only thing on this is the steering. The steering is absolute dog shit. The steering is absolute dog shit. That's the thing. If I have drag tires on, it's not really going to help. So, in order to avoid this problem, I will have to put a 7-speed. Or not. in all seriousness, technically, I could make this just a stock car. Actually, I could just make this a drag car. I could add a turbo, but that reduces the, well, this. So now to see how it performs, because this is basically a stock car, but worse. Anyway, time to mod the car.
Bet that new ride can move, huh?
Yeah, it does. So after this, I'm just gonna modify the car. Nothing much will be modified here, but I'm just going to make the car look bad, if that makes sense. I'm just going to make it extra weird, because why not? Let's add this. Let's add new headlights. These. Let's make the rear fenders wider, because why not? Oh, and we gotta make these wider too. Why not as well? After all, it is just a good car. Also, I could, if I wanted to, just add these. But I'm not weird, so. Also, it has these little things, those flaps, I hate them. So I'm just gonna add this. Alright, it's already looking great. Now we just have to add alchemist parts. We could add a diffuser, but I'm not weird. I mean, I could entirely remove this, so. I can't really do anything with the trunk lid, so this stays as is. I mean, there's literally nothing to do with it, so why even have it as an option? I could add a diffuser, but I don't know, it looked weird in my opinion. I could have nothing for this, basically. Oh well, fuck it, I'll add it. Also, get rid of these ugly things. We don't need that. Totally. I could add a splitter, which potentially makes it worse, but I'm not too sure. Also, why is this a thing? Like, why? That doesn't need to exist. We could just have this. What am I doing, honestly? Like, what is wrong with me? Oh, you know what's even better? This has only... Oh, okay. We can make this look even worse. We could add these. Why? I'm not too sure. But I'm gonna have it like this because I'm not a weirdo. Oh, I completely forgot. Or just, I'm gonna have it like that. Now that that's done, stance. Lower this shit down. That looks horrendous. That looks horrendous while it's like that. Now it looks better. Hold on. This needs this. A ducktail. Because why not? I could add this, but this looks bad. So I'm just gonna have a ducktail. Yep, that's basically it. The entire thing is now complete. Oh, and we gotta add those headlights too, you know, we just can't forget about those. To be honest, I don't really find a point of using those, so... I don't really find a point of using those, so... This is what This is what weight reduction looks like, baby. Also, that exhaust, that's horrifying. Why have it like that? That looks horrendous. So, I'm just gonna use a better pipe like this. Much bigger. Oh, we gotta change those rims too. They kinda look... yeah, they kinda look weird. So, we're just gonna have tires like these, I guess. Or I can have it... guess I'll use these, because... I don't know, they look like good things to me. I'm not too sure. Thing is, we're gonna have to make the rim silver, so... that's the only thing we need to change. Also, should I make it as big as possible to make it look good or not? I'm gonna make it big anyway, because I'm weird. So, this is a duped out, entirely weird looking thing. Oh, and I gotta change this. Let's change it to this bright, nice shade of white, and I'll make it metallic. Yeah, metallic. This, I'll make this white as well. Metallic. And there you go. We basically have the entire thing. There it is. It's right there. Now, you may ask, why the hell would you do this? Well, because I'm not too sure. Oh yeah, I forgot about the roof. We can't forget about the roof. Now, I'm not sure what would look better, this or this, because then this looks better, but then this looks worse. But they look good together. Oh well, I guess I'll just buy this one. Now it is a completely duped out, unnecessary car that we don't need, but I made it anyway. And yes, it has these big fat ass tires. Should I make it like this? Of course not. But I'm gonna do it anyway. First we gotta raise the height and then lower it. That looks better. Change the exhaust sound. Make it more aggressive. Just sounds completely like shit. Make unnecessary amount. Make it have an unnecessary amount of overrun. Yep, looks great. Now, the wrap. That's the only thing we need, the wrap. Now we're just gonna, I don't know, why not steel? Not steel. I'm just gonna have community wraps because those matter, I think. Also, who the fuck puts their card like this? Oh well. There's also this. I'll have this as well. What about this? Sure, this might look better, but personally, I prefer this. So I'm gonna use it. There you go. Our car is complete. Well, not much to use for this, but it is what it is. Now I'll just drive it. I'll drive it a little to test it. To see if to see if it drives better. Now I'm pretty sure it's not gonna have the best of turnability. I'm pretty sure everyone drag tires aren't really meant for turning. So well, I'm just gonna do a quarter mile, and of course, we're not gonna use these. We're gonna use the big boy. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. I may regret everything. Yeah, I think I just regret using the nitrous. This is so unnecessary, but I'm doing it anyway. Anyway, this time with no nitrous because the first attempt was horrible. So, let's go. We might want to apply some nitrous in the ending stretch, so. It's time to boost. Let's go. Well, it's a pretty cool car in my opinion. It just feels like it's like an engine with it's like a big engine put in a small car. So basically, it's just it spins a lot. Yeah, so basically it just spins a lot. Well, isn't this cool? I'm supposing it is, which it is in my opinion. I mean, look how cool it looks, except for that bumper, the front bumper. It looks kind of weird. I gotta fix that. But yeah, that's basically it.
No matter how bad it gets out there, at least we ain't gotta worry about Mercer no more.
Whatever she just said, you could take the advice for, you know, just today, except for whatever Mercer is, or who Mercer is. Yeah, that was basically me showcasing my voice. I've also played a little of this and bought a new car, and thanks for stopping by. Have a great day or evening.